All right, everyone, welcome to Community Chat. My name is Anthony Siracusa, the Director of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi, and I'm joined by my colleague, Professor Jody Holland, who teaches in Public Policy and Leadership here at the university. And we are bringing you Community Chats. This is something that we have done for many months now. We have an archive of many interviews with folks from across the region. You can check that out on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and we also have turned this into a podcast on Spotify. So please go back and listen to those interviews. This is a joint initiative and has been from the start with our friends at Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow, LOFT. I would love for y'all to go take a look at their website because you can read all about many of the nonprofits there, including the nonprofit we're going to talk about today. So go check out LOFT. They are supporting some incredible work in our community. I want to jump right into our interview today because we have a special guest with us, Mr. Kenorus Wilson from the Boys and Girls Club here in Lafayette, Oxford. Kenorus, welcome to Community Chats.
Thank you for having me today. Glad to be here.
Well, we are glad to have you here, and we're going to jump right into it with our first question, which is really just about your story. How did you end up here in the Lafayette Oxford University community?
I actually attended the University of Mississippi back in 2000. That's how I initially came to the city. Majoring in music education, music basically runs in my family. So just kind of hung around after then and did a few arts, and then came to the Boys and Girls Club volunteering in March of 2013. And I've always enjoyed working with children. My parents have worked with children all their life, so just one of those passions that I knew I had. I guess you could say finding yourself along the way, trying to see what is your purpose, what is your mission, and so March 2013, I started volunteering. Officially came on June of that same year, and it's been a blessing ever since.
Wow, that's great, Kenorus. Thank you.
Kenorus, tell me a little bit more about that journey from being a volunteer to coming on, and then now being a director now. How did that work out for you? Tell me how.
The director at that time, Mr. Lamont Watkins, we both went to the same church, and he just kind of reached out to me about starting out coming on and helping out, and assured me if a spot ever opened that he would get me in, and he kept his word. And I always take my hat off to him. We're still friends to this very day, and it just kind of took off from there. Got to know the kids, and some have even graduated now and still keep in touch. So just having those type of relationships that you establish over the years and seeing the success that they have educationally and some athletically. So just having that passion to have the patience to work with children and understand where they're coming from and trying to lead them to a great future.
Yeah, thank you.
And Kenorus, a lot of folks probably have heard of the Boys and Girls Club and have some general sense of what the mission is, but can you dive into that for us? Tell us, what's the mission of the Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, our mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. And in a nutshell, that just means we're trying to build leaders and giving them the tools to be successful leaders of today as well as leaders of tomorrow. A lot of times we say, our youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but actually we're training them to be the leaders of today in preparation for their future. So that's what we do. We try to be that beacon of hope, that light that shines bright throughout the community, serving as a safe haven where kids can come and socialize with their friends and some of the programs I'll speak on in a minute, like homework time. Parents want the kids to do homework, kids want to have fun. So we try to mix both, make sure we take care of business with the homework and then have fun.
I like that. Sounds like my approach to life. Thank you.
Well, Kenorus, I've been over there at 3:45, 4 o'clock, and I've seen the struggle with that and the programming, and it's some minute chaos, some minute organized. And I know one person can't do this. So I want to know a little bit more about your team and that helps manage these programs with you, and tell us a little about them.
Yes, I'm always very proud of my team, and I'll tell them every day, one person we can't be successful off one person. It takes all of us working together in our respective roles, so everything can flow smoothly, whether you're a 69-year-old staff or you're a membership secretary, program director, team director. We all are important for the success of the program. And so, when you have kids who come here and want to be around the staff and and the staff take interest in them, and it means a lot to them. And one of the slogans I always like to tell them, that lives depend on you. And that there's no greater job in the world to me other than serving children.
Wow, that's so powerful. And Kenorus, you've talked about that, the Boys and Girls Club being this beacon of hope and being a safe haven for youth in the community. But talk to us a little bit about some of the specific programs and initiatives that y'all use to work with the youth.
Yeah, some of our programs that we use, I'll start with our 69 side. We have high yield educational activities, which is basically activities, fun activities we do. It's a fun way to promote an educational aspect. It may be focused on team building, it may be focused on math. And so there's so many different areas that you can go with the 69-year-olds. Of course, our power hour, which serves all of them, was the homework time, where they're able to study for their spelling test, vocabulary test. Wednesday and Thursday, we primarily focus on preparing them for that, whether it's quizzing them on us with the spelling words and things of that nature. So just serving as mentors and tutors when needed, when they're struggling in certain areas. And then, before the pandemic, we had volunteers that could come and assist us additionally with our tutorial services, but we've kind of cut back on that to promote safety during COVID. And SMART Moves was an acronym for Skills, Master, and Resistance Training. We have SMART Moves and SMART Girls. SMART Moves is just another one of those things I talked about, just teaching them skills that they're going to need to be successful in life, and how to cope with different aspects that they may deal with, whether it's in school, whether it's at the home, whether it's with their peers. SMART Girls is basically girl talk, where all the girls are together, and we have programs that run with that. Passport to Manhood is male talk. The guys with the male teacher, which teaching them how to be productive young men. So trying to get all this in a nutshell. Money Matters is one of our team programs that we run that serves the purpose of teaching them how to save at an early age, teaching them the fundamentals of banking. The different CDs and things that are out there available to them. So basically another avenue that people like myself didn't have at the age of 13 through 18. Career Launch is another program that we run that focuses on preparing them for their whatever career they may be interested in. Oftentimes we wait till it's time to graduate to start thinking about what do we want to do or what we want to potentially do. So Career Launch helps us prepare them for potential careers that they may embark on.
Wow, what a powerful set of programs. Thank you so much for sharing those.
Yeah, and with that, I know there's a lot of challenges with putting all these programs on, managing the chaos of play. What are some of the challenges that you actually occurs that you face with all the time?
Periodic, of course, to be stable, financial stability is one. Another challenge is, with the new school rotations, sometimes you have some kids who get the full 3 hours here at the club, and you have some who may have 30 minutes. It just depends on what time they arrive at the club. So still trying to serve each youth with the same passion, whether they're here for 2 hours or whether they're here for 5 minutes. Well, we still want to offer that safe haven, that fun environment, fun educational environment, make sure they're getting the educational nuggets that they need to be successful, make sure they're getting that homework time that they may not get at home for whatever reason, but we give them that hour to complete those homework assignments, and then offer another fun education activity during that power hour to just keep their mind turning, A lot of things, one of the main things that kids nowadays are struggling with is reading comprehension. And so that's one of the main areas that we try to focus on, especially at a young age. Understanding what you're reading, be able to pick out key points or key words when you're reading a particular passage. So just having that time frame to reach out to them and to help them in the areas that they need.
Good. Thank you.
And, Kenorus, with those challenges, also probably comes some satisfaction, the sort of personal rewards that you get from this and even the professional rewards. Could you speak to some of that for us? What are the personal and professional rewards you get from this work?
Yeah, from working with children, the personal rewards that you get is just knowing that you are touching lives daily. And like I said a little while ago, one of the slogans I love to use now is lives depend on you. Because, whether it's an encouraging word or whether it's just checking on them, I'm real big on academics, so I'm always asking them, how was school today? On Thursday, when some of them get their folders, they're always bringing the folders to me, want me to see where they're successful. And even in those areas where they may be struggling in, I don't scold them, I don't scorn them, but we talk about, hey, well, you tell me, the areas that you think you can do better in, and then we're trying to meet in the middle and get a game plan. So just working with them daily and not only supporting within the four walls, supporting them outside the four walls, whether it is, academic success, attending awards day or attending sports events, things like that matter to me when I was a child. So I know it matters to children of today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Kenorus, you have such a big impact in our community. If there's somebody watching this, community members or maybe students on campus that want to get involved, contribute to your organization, what do they need to do?
You can always mail us at 413 Washington Avenue. I can give you my email address. My email is kwilson@bgcnms.org. Like I say, any support is always appreciated. Thank you for the support that we've received thus far, because we've had so much support from the community and surrounding areas. So I dare not take that lightly, and I want to personally thank everybody, because I don't want to start calling names because there are so many. And thank you, Jody, and thank you, Anthony, for your continued support of nonprofits and the entire Ox community.
Yes, absolutely. And we're really looking forward to continue to help connect students over at the Boys and Girls Club, because that sort of older peer to younger peer mentorship we know matters a great deal. So we'll keep working on that. And we want to wrap up just by giving you, Kenorus, the opportunity to speak to our viewers, our listeners, many of them here in Lafayette, Oxford, North Mississippi, but also outside of this community. We call this our 1 minute moment. So this is your 1 minute to address our viewers. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for your continued support of the Boys and Girls Club. We just hope that we continue serving as a beacon of hope and a light to the children, not only of the Oxford, Lafayette County community, but the surrounding area. And your support, continued support, would be greatly appreciated, whether it's financially or donation of supplies that so many of you have done. So I just thank you, and just if there's ever a time that we can serve you community service wise, please reach out to us, because that's another thing. We're trying to teach them how to be responsible and how to give back to your community that supported you in so many ways. So thank you all so much for having me once again. And that's it.
Oh, wow. What a wonderful message that you have shared with our community. What an incredible array of services you offer to our youth, a beacon of hope, a light, a safe haven for young people in the Lafayette Oxford University community, brought to you by Kenorus Wilson and his team over at the Boys and Girls Club. Kenorus, we're grateful for you, for all the work that you do here for our youth, and for being on Community Chats today to share this out. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you all again for having me, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. To all of our viewers, please share this story out with your friends. Tag them in the comments, like this post. Let's get the word out about what Mr. Kenorus is doing with the youth in our community. This is critical work, and we'll be sure to post an opportunity for you to check in with him and follow his work and contribute if you can in the comments on this video. We hope everybody's doing well and staying safe, but we also hope you're staying engaged. Thanks for tuning into Community Chats. We'll see you next time.